we'll just get started. Today, the plan is so we did unit one and two, and we figured actually Peter had a wonderful share after Saturday's meeting,
Mhm.
where he had like one full page of just golden information of like a list of strategies. I don't know where you pulled that from, Peter, but that was great. And so I was reading through it, and I was looking at
What's that
different.
CPID?
Sorry,
That's literally from CPID.
CBID. What's that?
CPID, it's a general course for human resource management. It's a word
Ah,
cloud.
okay. Yeah, all right. Okay, that makes sense now. So that got me thinking. Oh, I'm sure there's more than the strategies that we're learning right now at Sailor Academy. And so I just started looking into this, and then I found a long list, and I said, okay, maybe we should all like share, collaborate, because there's no way I can go through all that myself. And then so that's why I thought, hey, it would be nice to maybe pick one or two and just share what you got from it. And so that's the plan for today. I'm not seeing any other requests to join, so we might as well do it today. Um, oh, and by the way, Jason, if you're comfortable with the camera on, great. If not, we totally understand. It just makes it more human, personable if we see each other, and we're like all classmates, and it's easier to see to put a face that's a moving face to a voice than just a voice. But we understand if you can't. No worries.
I'll
Okay,
see you from next week. Yeah.
no worries. Okay, so did you prepare anything? Did any of you prepare anything?
I did.
Okay. Do you who wants to start? How about that?
Guys, do you want to start? I don't want to always to be starting and be looking like a teacher's pet all the time.
Think about me. I'm always talking this time. How about you, Jitson?
Jiten, would you
This
like
is
to start?
this is my first class, and yeah, I mean, I think let Peter start.
Okay.
All righty, no problem.
So
So I
sorry.
did. You want to
Uh,
say something?
yeah, just before we start, because I mean, we have about 55 minutes, so just in case Jitin gets lost or anything, I don't know what your background is or how in depth you studied before, or actually, did you get through any of the units before, or you're just starting right now?
We
For this, I'm just starting it now. I finished Unit 1 assessment.
Okay,
Now
okay,
I just started Unit 2. Unfortunately, I wanted to finish last week, but I couldn't.
okay,
But yeah, I would like to catch up with you guys, and hopefully by next week, should be with you.
okay.
So
So
I'm starting Unit 2 now.
okay. So before we start, just in case he, what do you think, Peter? Just in case, so should we bring him back to speed really quickly and try to
yeah,
summarize
yeah.
Unit 2 for him?
He didn't attend the last meeting with us. Yeah.
No, I
No,
don't remember
no,
this. No. So,
Yeah.
and
Better
no.
to just go briefly and tell him what he used to do.
yeah,
I think it's gonna be like that.
yeah, let me pull the slides and I'll just quickly go through them for you. Unit 2. What was the name of Unit 2? Oh, yeah, of course, strategic planning. That's what it was. Excuse me. And that way you can prepare, Peter, to share your wonderful presentation. Green. All right, be able to see it now. All right, so Unit 2 was about strategic planning. I'll do half and then you do half. How about that, Peter?
No problem. Yeah.
Okay, so quickly, if you have
Just
questions,
focus.
Jitin, just stop us, and that's totally fine. But so strategic planning, essentially, it's you're you're putting yourself in the shoes of the leader of an organization, the CEO, or an actual manager, higher level manager, whichever manager. If you have resources, strategic planning essentially is you're asking yourself, how can I better use what I have to be competitive in this market or to achieve the goals that the organization set out or that you as the CEO has set out um, or your board and your team has set out to make it happen. And so when that, we found that there are tools and frameworks that you can put to good use to be able to achieve those goals. One of those tools is looking at what's going on outside, and in the lessons, you'll see that there's pestle. Okay, I should fix that because it's really bothering me. You look at the outside external factors. Pestle. You'll see that in the book, it's pest first that they talk about, and then they add the T, the L, and the E, which represents environmental and legal. But essentially, you look at the outside, the global view. You know, you look at the political aspect of things, economic factors of the environment or the industry or the sector, the country, even social, technological, and from there you're able to see or better position yourself and have an idea of what trends are happening so that you know what to do. At least you know what's on the outside. Now, having that big picture thinking of what's on the outside, you bring that in to another tool that we're given, which is called the SWOT analysis. And so the outside is giving you the opportunities that you can capitalize on and the threats that you can prepare for. In SWOT, it stands for strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And so you've done the external, now you look internally, and then you see what your strengths are and what your weaknesses are. Having done all these two things, actually four things, you know how to position yourself, and you know what to focus on so that you can better formulate a plan, a strategic plan. Because what is strategy? A strategy is looking into the future and saying, okay, these are the steps I will take to achieve that specific goal or objective. Make sense so far, Jitin?
Yes, yes.
Okay. You want to take it away, Peter?
No, better you continue. So I'm just learning from you now.
Oh, goodness. All right. So,
You just give me PLC framework, so I'm not good with PLC.
okay. So,
I mean,
so
the PLC framework is generally that you're gonna use to implement all these things what you have, and then you're gonna start with vision, mission, strategy, goal, objectives, and then we're gonna have the tool what I send you.
yes.
Correct?
Yeah. Um, so I don't have that. I didn't add it to the slides, but please do look at the Discord, resources channel, Jitin, because that's where Peter did a deep dive into this, a deep dive into the stakeholder analysis, creativity and passion and vision. If you wanted to summarize this part, Peter, what would it be? Like quick summary.
Or I will just summarize like that. If you want to make strategic management, then you're having the two tools to evaluate your business. So these two tools is going to be PASLA, as you say, the first, and then it's going to be one of the tools that you can evaluate your business. That stands for political, economical, social, technological, legal, and environmental. And then that's the one tool that you can use. So you can measure. First, you need to ask the question: what are you measuring in your company? So you cannot just measure the company. So you need to ask what you want to use your tool for, what exactly, particularly objective to have to measure with that tool. So that's the first thing what you have to do. For example, you want to see how your company is standing or something is not performing good. Then you're gonna do the PESTLE and see what is actually the issue in your company, so you can see the bigger picture and clear picture in that. So that's why you're gonna use PESTLE. SWOT is similar analyzing tool that you can use, but is working on both ways. It's working from internal and external. Opportunity and threats are something that are outside from your company, so it's not inside your company, which is obviously threats are coming from outside, something that is threatening your business, so you can see what is threatening your business. And opportunities is also what is coming, what is something outside for your company, so your company still don't achieve it or you don't find it, so you may find some new opportunity. Is that going to be some new product, or maybe it's going to be some new way of serving your customers, or some
Mhm.
new technology piece? That's going to be your opportunity.
Mhm.
Internal processes, strengths and weaknesses. This is something what is inside in your company. So what is the strengths of your company and what is the weaknesses of your company?
Yeah.
Then you can measure the strengths. For example, we have a good brand, that's our strength. We are having a amazing customer service, that also can be our strength. And the weaknesses also can be something that is opposite of that. Maybe our customer service is not so good, so with that tool we can evaluate that issues. And now we have also POC framework, which is standing for planning, organizing, leading and controlling. Planning, we're gonna have Jatin, do you have that kind of paperwork in PDF? Yeah.
Yes, I've seen in the Discord channel.
You're seeing that one, yeah? Okay, you are seeing in Discord channel. Yeah, I may see. So you see that first one, this planning. That's you have vision, mission, company vision and mission. This is obviously what you're gonna do when you are creating your company. So that's why I share also the tool. For instance, I use this David's method tool, how you're gonna create that one. But let's focus on the things what you can see. So vision and mission, you know what is the vision and mission of the company, right?
Yes.
You know, so
Whoop,
you create
sorry.
first the vision and mission of the company. They're going to strategizing your company. What kind of strategies you're gonna use there, and then you have a goals and objectives. You're setting goals and objectives. Do you know what is the goals? What is the difference between goals and objectives?
Yes, it was quite brief during the unit 1, but I think explaining elaborately unit 2, I guess.
Yeah. So you know what is the goal? What is the difference between goals and objectives?
Maybe you can just explain again.
I'll explain you. Goals is that you are setting something on long term, and objectives are something that how you're gonna make small goals to achieve that big goal. For example, you want to lose the weight. That's your the main goal is to lose the weight. And now, how you're gonna achieve that? You're gonna run every day. You're gonna do the exercise. You're gonna drive the home bicycle. That's your objectives. You understand now? So, for example, if you want to make a company, then you have a goal. That's a long-term goal, and objectives are small goals in that. That looking in that big goal.
Understood.
Is that clear for you now?
Yes.
So
Yes.
you are setting that third one, goal and objective. Then
Mhm.
then we are going to organize you or organization design. Organization design. Uh, I'm not sure what that does mean, that because of design. Can you
I
just help
can.
me?
Yeah, of course, of course. I was trying to match what you were also talking about with the slides, but let me just go back to it. So,
There we go. Sorry,
organization. Yeah, sorry about that. So, organization design. Okay. Let's see. So it has to do with how the company culture is formed. Um, organization design is also how right, hierarchy. So in Unit 1, we looked at the strategic hierarchy of an organization. How in one your organization you have the HR department, the marketing department, and so on and so forth, and they each have their own um, uh, goals and objectives, but they all have to meet
Essentially.
the corporate, like the overall
Okay,
uh,
okay, I
organization.
get.
So how you
So
design your organization to make
yeah,
it happen.
basically you're gonna have your strategic for each department. Strategy for human resource department, marketing strategy for marketing department, and then you are having. That's why it's a bit confusing because all of that is calling strategy, 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 and
Mm,
that's why people are confusing because they're hearing a lot of word strategy. So you have the top one, it's a business. This is the business strategy, and down you have human resource strategy or HR strategy, where is people practice inside. Then you have marketing strategy, how you're gonna do them and perform the marketing. And then you have IT strategy as well. There, how you're gonna organize your IT and everything and those policies.
yeah.
And do we want to continue now on this leading and controlling? Yeah.
Sure. I think just for the interest of time, we can quickly go through it. I think, Peter, you did a great job at mentioning that this is how you implement your plan, right? You have your vision first. You look into the future, and you know what you want to be. You
Yeah.
communicate that to your organization. And last time you mentioned that it's best if everybody in the management chain contributes to the planning, the strategic plan,
Yeah.
because they have different perspective and different views, right? So,
Different view. Exactly.
so given your SWOT, given your PESTEL as analysis tools, as ways to better organize your information to make a better decision, this is how you implement. And then from also the videos, I remember the lady was mentioning for any manager position, you're doing parts of these four. Normally, you should be doing all four as your job duties. You're responsible for planning, you're responsible for organizing, leading, and controlling. But that's essentially you look at the POLC framework to implement your plan. And then we can leave it at that. If you have some more time, I highly recommend you go through the lessons in this because really there's a lot to unpack, and we we don't have time, but it's very important.
Can I ask you one question?
Of course,
It's
of
really
course.
bugging. It's really bugging me something. When I'm looking in
Please. Yeah,
POC framework,
yeah.
and when I'm looking now at Davis and API framework, is that kind of the same framework, or
The
what
what
is it?
framework?
The Davis, what I send you in my document there,
Davis?
the Davis 2007 framework. I'm just
Uh,
fine. There is the
yeah.
one what I send
Are you
you. Let's just find. Where is it?
are you also able to share your screen, Peter?
I'm not able to share the screen. That's why.
Oh, okay. Let
I'm talking
me.
on the phone, but I'm on computer app, and I'm not having the documents on my phone.
Okay, never mind. Yeah. So okay, I'll
I
just keep an eye
remind
out
you just
on Discord.
open the document. Aha. We have these strategic tools that's calling Davis SMP model. This is what I sent you in the Discord.
So the paper, right?
Yes, the paper. So
Okay. Let me
can you
open
just open that?
that. So save image. Because it's it's on the other side. So
No problem.
so let me open that up. Okay, so it's image 1914. Okay, let me open that. Okay, so after this, we'll just go to the frameworks that we did, so that at least for 30 minutes we can just explain that. What did I say? Image 1419, right?
1490. Let's say.
IMG. Okay.
Can I try to come maybe from computer? Let me see if I can.
Rotate this way. Okay. So you said what?
You
ING?
see, David's 2007 S&P model.
Where is that?
The second column.
Second. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you see there.
Strategic management process model is a structure framework that guides organization through the formulation, implementation, and evaluation of strategy. The model is widely used because it provides a clear step-by-step approach and emphasis that strategy is a continuous process, correct? We talked about that, rather than one-time event, of course, 100%. PESTEL, SWOT, industry, yeah. Strategy, developing policies, yeah. So this would be in the organizational design, developing policies,
Mhm.
allocating resources, designing, yeah, establishing a supportive organizational structure, organizational design, managing change. So that's on the leading side, managing change and overcoming resistance, communicating strategy. That's also leadership. Evaluation. That's in the controlling side, measuring performance. Yeah, taking corrective action. Okay, revisiting mission. Yes, yes. Whoops.
So you see, this is the general tools for all of that. So should we use these tools, or
Yes.
we should
So
use the tools, or should we use these tools from the slide, POC framework together, or should use just one of them?
So this is what I've so it depends, and this is what I've noticed when I was doing the research of all the strategic frameworks when you're doing strategic planning. Like as you've seen in the list, there's a lot of them, and some of them are more famous, more widely known than others. But you also start to realize that a lot of them are very similar one to
Yeah.
another. And at the end of the day, what are you trying to do, right? You have to look at it. I think this is how I'm seeing it. Uh, uh, I'm at the end of the day, you're doing a strategic plan, looking into the future, and how can you organize yourself and and your team, your people, to get to from point A to point B, right?
Yes.
There's so many ways that leads to Rome, right?
Yes.
So for one culture, you can say that this you have to go A, B, C, D. For another culture, you can go D, E, F, Z, and then you're in B.
Yeah, yeah, I get you that. But my question is
Yeah,
that POC
it's
tool,
very
or
similar. Yeah,
is that a tool,
it's a
or
framework.
it's a framework?
Yeah. So
So if I will use the tool, should I use the framework?
okay.
How are you gonna feed this tool?
So difference between tool and framework. The way I see it is a tool is you have a hammer, you have a pen,
Right.
pencil, tool. Framework is how to. So a blueprint, a guide, right?
Mhm.
So this, I see it as a guide that
Mhm.
says, so obviously you look at it, it looks like it's sequential, but we did go through this, and even in the book, it says that this works all together, and you have to
Mhm.
constantly review each part because an organization is very dynamic. Um,
Okay.
Essentially, just a long way to answer your question is yes, they can have different names, but at the essence of it, these are steps that you have to do. Sometimes you can skip a step to meet it, but as long as you understand what is involved in the planning phase, in the
Mhm.
organizing phase, leading phase, and controlling, you're okay. Um,
Okay.
and also, this is something I hope we'll be able to see that trend in how we present what we were able to do in our research. Um, I think it will start making sense because I know I prepared for two, but I went through and I was curious, so I
Yeah,
went
yeah.
through some other ones.
No,
But
probably it's maybe in the future. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, we're brand new to this, anyways, right? So I don't want to like overwhelm Jitin, but essentially, once you have this framework, so right, you're given tools. Well, I call them basic because I no, you have starter tools. Let's say that, and then you have a way to implement those tools. The goal is to plan strategically. Someone can make a plan just like that out of a whim, and another person can make a plan after careful consideration and analysis, right? Which one is stronger? Obviously, highly likely the one that made some careful plan and analysis, but uh, nothing compares to how you implement it. You can have the best plan ever, but if your organization culture is terrible, you're not going to get anywhere,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Good plans are meant to achieve something. If you don't achieve anything, you're out. So far, does that make sense, Jitin? Did we prep you for the next part of this lesson?
Yes, I think you made my life easier for Unit 2.
Fantastic. Please do read because there's a lot, and yeah, we had examples and everything. Anyways, everything is on Discord now, so and then if you come across any questions, post them in the Discord, and I think it would help others as well to try to answer, or we can try to answer as well, or learn more that way. So having said that, let's go to other extra strategic tools and framework that we on our own time went through. Peter, if you have some presentation, you can send it to me and I can share it on the screen. What do you think?
Having on. I'm
Wh-
having on. I didn't put in PDF.
no problem.
Let me just convert very quickly. Where is that
Okay.
now? It's here.
You can send it either on the Wednesday check-ins or the what is it called? The strategic course forum, whichever is easier for you. And by the way, for the viewers, the Discord group, and this is how we've started. Yeah, I'm just talking while you you send it, Peter. Let me know if you're ready.
It's okay if I send you the word format, yeah?
Yeah, and yeah, I can open it
You
on
have
Word format. Yes, LibreOffice.
Yeah.
So yeah, are you able to navigate properly, finding yourself okay in the Discord group, Jitin?
Yes, that is fine. I've used Discord before, and I think yeah, it's
Okay, cool.
you can navigate easily. It's not a problem.
Where do you want to send me? Where you want me to send you the file again? Sorry.
Maybe in resources.
Resources.
Wednesday check-in. Wednesday
Wednesday.
check.
Wednesday check-in. Okay.
So what's the name of the strategies? Oh yeah, so by the way, yeah, I think Jitin, you saw these, right? These are like all sorts of strategies. Fun fact, you have a SWOT analysis and you have a TOES analysis. And these are essentially the same. SWOT just gives you a picture, it's like you take a snapshot of where you are, and TOES is more of an actionable framework of the SWOT. So goes again to the Davis thingy. Did you send it? Or?
Okay. Mhm.
So for me, at least today, if hopefully we have time, I'll go through the Hoshin planning. I think, yeah, Hoshin planning, Japanese strategy, and Blue Ocean strategy. I forget the name of the guy that came up with this. I don't have the presentation slides for this, but I did some research on jobs to be done, which is fascinating. And that opened my mind into so many other realms. It's like a, a rabbit hole, never ending. Okay, so how about I start, Peter, and then we can.
I'm just sending you now.
Oh, okay.
You send it.
He sent it. Okay, let's see. Okay, very good, very good, very good. Okay. Give me 1 second.
No problem.
Document. Dave. Oh, DLC Davis. Okay. All right. Let me make it bigger. Can you all see it well? Yeah, I think you can see. Okay. All right.
Let me just set, and then we can start. Because I will watch on this another monitor the David's form, and then I'll go and explain you guys how it's going.
Wonderful.
So as you guys can see, I did the David's for tool strategic management process model for the company called Disney Cruise Line. As per David's, we have three major points that we have to do. The first one is strategy formation, strategy implementation, and strategy evaluation.
Mm-hmm.
Let's start from strategy formation. Defining defining the organization, mission and vision. Mission to create magical family-friendly cruise experience infused with Disney storytelling, characters, and entertainment. That's going to be our mission for the company. The vision to be the world a leading family cruise line, setting the standard for innovation, service, and immersive vacation experience at sea. Then we're gonna go now. If you're seeing that model here, you guys cannot see the model. It's good if you can open also another picture from the Discord, so you can also watch what I'm talking about on the model, if you guys want.
Which picture?
The one what I send on
The
Discord
paper.
Saturday. Yeah. Sorry. The one picture what I sent last Saturday.
Yeah.
On the Discord, so maybe you can follow what I'm talking about. If they see just the plain framework.
So you're talking about this, right?
Yes, I'm talking about Davis. There is the second column.
Okay. Oops. We will have to speed through things because we have about 20 minutes left. But
okay, no problem. I will just go and then you guys can say this one. The vision to be the words we say already. Conducting internal and external analysis. Now we're going to conduct internal and external analysis by SWOT. Internal analysis are strengths and weaknesses. What is our strength? Strengths is going to be strong brand equity, low customer base, high quality entertainment, integration with other Disney products. Weaknesses: high operational cost, limited fleet compared to competitors. External opportunities and threats. This is our external factors. Opportunities: expansion into emerging markets, Asia, South America, sustainable innovation, entertainment experience. Threats: global economic downturns, fuel costs, volatility, geopolitical instability, pandemics.
Okay.
Do you wanna ask something about it?
So essentially, what I'm understanding, and please correct me if I'm wrong. So
Yes.
you're implementing the Davis, what is it called? David's SMP, Strategic Management Process Model.
Exactly.
So you're presenting that and applying it to Disney Cruise Line.
Yes, like I did the last Saturday, I did Tesla and SWOT, and now I'm doing the Davis.
Yeah. Okay. And so for this, so you're doing the tools that you're using right now is SWOT and then Pestle, so that you can formulate your strategic Okay, now you're doing the, okay, so how are you implementing, instead of doing POLC, which we know is very similar to this, you're
Yes,
doing
yes, David.
developing policies and action. Okay, so if you had to summarize this so what is, so based on the SWOT and the PESTEL, what is the outcome? Okay,
Uh,
your options are this, right? That's what you're saying.
yes, that's my options here. Yeah, regulations, political regulations, international cruising and ports, economical change and disposal incoming, affecting leisure spending, social, the benefit for unique family-oriented experience, technological innovation in cruise ship design and onboarding experience, environmental pressure for sustainable operations and waste reduction, legal compliance with maritime laws and labor regulations. That's PESTEL.
Okay, PESTEL,
And
yeah. So I'm just getting to
SWOT
the,
is up. The SWOT is on the top before.
yeah. So we talked about SWOT, we talked about PESTEL,
Yeah.
and so you did your tools, the insights that you got. So you have
Yeah.
to make a decision, right? As the CEO or the manager, you
Now
said,
we are making decision. Yeah, exactly. But we need to first do an industrial analysis
okay,
by that guy, David.
David, yeah,
So
okay,
so there is the industrial analysis by Porter's five forces.
okay,
So he's also using Porter's five forces, which is another tool
yeah,
that you can analyze your business. So what is what we are doing now? High rivalry, example, Royal Caribbean. So competition is there high. Royal Caribbean and Norwegian Cruise Line can be our competitors.
yeah,
Moderate threat of new entrants. Maybe some new companies going to come on the market. Low supply power. Standardized cruise suppliers. So there is not so many suppliers around.
hmm
Moderate firepower, price sensitive, how is the time today, recession, inflation, and everything, then also can be threat to us. Low threat of substitutes for impressive thematic cruises.
okay,
Uh, this is what that we are not having threat on that. We are the only one here. So that's
okay,
basically Porter's 5.
very
We
good.
already did Porter's 5, right? On unit 1, I think.
Yeah. Okay,
So
so you did PESTEL, SWOT, Porter. Oh,
yes.
okay. So
So
now,
now setting long-term goals or objectives, how you want to call them.
okay,
So our long-term goals is going to be expand fleet with eco-friendly ships. So we want to make and build new ships, enter new international cruise market, increase customers retention by 15% over 5 years, enhance digital guest experience on board.
okay,
We want to implement IE or the robots, what I say in the next one.
okay.
So that's what we are doing. Identify and evaluating strategic options. So
Yeah.
now we want to identify and evaluating strategic option. Option 1, invest in luxury audit-only cruises segment. Maybe some new company or system company maybe can be for us.
Mhm.
Option 2, develop themed cruises around Marvel, Star Wars, or Pixar. So we can use something different, what is part of Disney right now, to make another cruises. Options 3, to increase regional cruises. Options to reduce cost and environmental impact.
Okay.
That's our options. Now we are making strategy implementation. Sorry guys, but we don't have a time. I have to read like
Yeah.
that.
No, it's fine.
Uh,
Just as a summary, we can just go through the headings, right? Because
yeah, developing policies and action plans.
yeah.
This is what kind of policies I will implement in Disney. Launch new ships like Disney Wish with the general technology, schedule more itineraries in the regions, cross promotion with Disney theme park. So maybe when the guests come in park, we can advise them to use the cruise or something like that. That's
Mhm.
gonna the one of developing policies and action plans, allocating resources effectively, establishing a supportive organization structure, managing change and overcome resistance. Uh, what is the managing change? So when we have a people on board, then probably they will resign or uh, they will be downgraded or upgraded. We don't know. So that change we need to know how to manage. So train the
Mhm.
staff to embrace innovation and sustainability using internal communication to explain strategy shifts. engage unions and international staff in discussion.
Mm.
This is what we can do in the change. Communicating strategy across the organization, which is very important in that one, by my opinion, because with the communication, the many things can go around. So if we
Mhm.
don't have proper communication, then we need to establish how we're going to communicate. Regular executive briefings and crew meetings, and use digital platforms on board and onboard the leadership to cascade strategy to all crew levels,
Mhm.
which is very good. This is something like now they're using digitally, but you can have also boards, panels where people can see the message from CEOs and everything. That's one of the best strategy, by my opinion, how you're going to communicate with a large number of employees in your organization.
Mm. Okay.
Strategy. And now we're gonna do. Now we finish all this process, and now we are going to see how our strategy is gonna work. We are
Mhm.
evaluating that. Measuring performance against set objectives. So we are now measuring how all those things are working.
Mhm.
Uh,
So the
occupancy-
key performance indicator
exactly. So
are occupancy rate, customer satisfaction scores. You're going to
exist.
send survey
Yes,
feedbacks, promoter scores. If your customer is going to promote your cruise line or not.
or now are they a promoter or demoter?
Yeah, yeah, very important. And revenue per passenger, obviously,
Yeah,
at
PPD
the end
per
of the
person.
day is money, right? Okay.
Exactly.
Identify internal, external changes. Sorry, I interrupted you.
Oh
Go
no,
ahead.
no, you okay? So identifying internal and external change, monitor industry trends, health regulations, and economic shifts. So we need to monitoring all those things, what is going around us. Uh,
Okay.
Talk with passenger and take feedback and adjust our offerings accordingly. So if there is something wrong with, you should report to high management, and then actually the staff has to report to the high management through reports, and
Yeah.
then we need to adjust something. Taking corrective actions, modify interns or ship experience based on the guest demand, adjust pricing or promotion during off-peak season.
Yeah.
Everybody know what is that? Revising mission and vision. So if something is not working, we can revise our mission and vision. Many companies, guys, are revising their mission and vision, especially on sustainability, digitalization, and we need to follow this global environmental society how they're working. So based on that, you can adjust your mission.
Yeah. Very important. Okay.
That's pretty much all for as we are not having time, but.
Yeah.
Trust me,
No.
I can talk about this 1 hour.
Yeah, this is amazing. Okay. Thank you so much, Peter. I hope that makes sense, Jitin. That's an example of the David SMP, strategic management process, right? That's what it's called?
Yes,
Mhm.
David's SMP
Mhm.
David has strategic managing tool.
process.
That's all. That's a
Okay.
tool. Yeah, we have also another tool as you can see on that paper. But my favorite is that David. You
David.
also have another one. It's really cool. If somebody can do that later on or in
What is
your
that
free
called?
time. Thompson and Martin, strategic management.
Thompson. Okay. I
That's a
didn't
bit
do that.
easier. That's a
Okay.
bit easier. It's not too deep like Rotmel and David,
Okay.
but
Uh,
it's much better to do it if you are having like small company.
any questions, Jitin?
No questions for now.
No questions. Okay. Thank you so much, Peter. So from there,
Okay.
we have an example of a tool, how you implement it step by step. And Peter did a great job as going very in detail how you're going to go make it happen. The way I'm going to present some other tools to you is a bit more top level, but hopefully it gives you an idea of what's out there, just so that you can, know that there's different ways of getting to Rome, different ways to do things, and go about reaching your goal. I was pretty fascinated by cool names like Blue Ocean Strategy and Hoshin Kanri. I was thinking, in the industrial times back in the days, Japan was very like that was the number one in efficiency. And even nowadays we're saying, oh, these guys are still in the future, just by how
They are.
awesome they are. We're thinking Toyota, all these like Asian cars. And then, okay, now you have also South Korea with Samsung and everything. But I was just a bit curious to see what is their secret. How are they getting that productive and efficient, right? So Hoshin Kanri is another one. But let's talk about Blue Ocean strategy. This is a quote from, okay, yeah, Asian, Chan Kim, that says, "To win in the future, companies must stop competing with each other. The only way to beat the competition is to stop trying to beat the competition." And by that, what he means is, what is blue ocean strategy? What is your blue ocean? So you have the difference between red ocean and blue ocean. Think about this ocean, okay? And think about what's underneath. Um, it like the emotion that you see in here is like, it's peaceful, nobody's there, it's just you and the rest of the world, so you can go about doing whatever you want, as opposed to a red ocean, a bit here. But imagine this is red, and you know what's under the ocean? I'm thinking sharks. Think about sharks under the ocean, right? If you jump in the water and sharks start eating you, you're bleeding out. Essentially, this is a metaphor to a red ocean is a market where there's lots of competition, so you won't be able to eat, because businesses are like sharks. You won't be able to feed yourself much. But if you go into a blue ocean, you have the whole ocean to yourself, lots of fish under the sea, and then you'll be able to um, dominate and enter that market without many barriers. So differentiating between red ocean strategy and between a red ocean and a blue ocean is the starting point. And obviously, this is the definition where your mindset is shifting between, oh, is the market busy? Why don't I go somewhere where nobody's there so that I can take everything? So essentially, the takeaway of what a blue ocean strategy is you're not going to compete where people are just fighting heads and tails. You're going to go somewhere else and take all of the market. How? And here's the process. First, you okay, yeah, we you're getting started, yeah, you made up your mind, but you have to understand where you are now. And then the next example I have for you will just completely swipe you off your feet. You have to get a clear understanding of where you are so that you don't make the same mistake or you don't end up in the same red ocean. Next, you imagine what could be. When you're formulating your future vision, what is the ideal spot? You being the only person your customers or your customers, clients go to for the service or product that you're offering. Next is you're trying to figure out, okay, this is where I want to be. How am I going to get there? And so you're reconstructing. Here it talks about reconstructing the market boundaries systematically. Essentially, you're putting yourself in the future, but you're trying to see where your scope, and by scope I mean your product offering, will stop. So we'll get to the example. It will make more sense. And then finally, make your move. There's a book called Blue Ocean Strategy, which I highly recommend. I didn't read it, but based on this strategy, I think it's awesome. And so that's the 5 steps to go. And this is the example of Netflix. Everybody knows Netflix. What happened before Netflix? You had to go to the video store, buy cassettes or CDs, and you had a time frame to return it, right? But Netflix came and just wowed everybody. They were like, where are we now? Okay, understand where you are now. We are in the business of renting movies and shows, and people have to go to one spot and return this, blah blah blah. So they started by sending CDs by mail, so that helped their customers, right? But eventually they did the streaming. Nobody else was doing streaming, and this is where like they took the whole blue ocean to themselves, and now others are following suit. But that's a perfect example of a blue ocean strategy that Netflix took. Does that make sense so far, everybody? Jitin?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. And yeah, so part one, so they eliminated, reduced the cost, obviously, by doing the streaming. What's the cost in that, right? Just the server cost. Anyways, that was the result, and now I mean, they used to be crushing it, but that's just an example of what the strategy they were using. Now, another super interesting, because the Japanese, let's face it, the Japanese are in a different dimension in the future. So
Yeah.
Hoshin Kanri, each symbol has a meaning: direction, needle, control, logic. Essentially, it's a way to direct you. It's like a map, a compass. Um, Hoshin Kanri, that's what it means. And so, essentially, what is Hoshin Kanri is at every step of the organization, you're assigning people to specific goals or tasks or objectives that you need to meet. And this is why it's called aligning vision to action. And the framework that you see here, I'll get to that in the example, but you start with what are you trying to achieve? These are your long-term objectives, 3 to 5 years. And then you go left. How far? And then on your what, on your goals and objectives, you will have people that you assign, right? How far is your annual objective? So each year, even each month, if you want, each year you're reviewing them. So this is where we're talking about the PLC framework, the controlling side, because everything works together, not in sequence, but in an agile way. So how far? You have your long-term plans. Now your short terms, because you want to measure properly. How are you going to achieve your goals? So you go next to number 3. So your top level priorities, you prioritize your goals. And in here, these are also assigned to a specific group of people. Is it HR? Is it marketing? Is it IT? These people are going to be responsible for it. I'll get to that in the next slide. But there's a cool way of how they do feedback loop. And then number 4 is how they're measuring themselves. Now, I don't know if you're seeing a pattern here, and I'm so happy you started with that, Peter, but every strategy has a way to measure, right? Because what you measure, you can manage. If you don't measure things, how do you know how well you're doing, right?
Yeah,
How do you
exactly.
measure success? And so, so once you have 4 and then you have your targets, okay, did you meet your target? Are you short? Are you overperforming? What's the deal here? And then they send it to the who, which is also back to assigning to the business business unit that is responsible for it. And so the takeaway here is you have your strategy, you have to transform the strategy into a language that speaks to your HR team, to your marketing team, to all your business units, and assign them goals so that they can meet it. So essentially, that's why it's aligning your vision to action.
Yeah, smart goals.
Yeah, specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time bound. So in formulating the goals, there's this catchball technique that they're using. Essentially, is the leader starts with a vision that they want to put in, okay, and then they send that vision to other levels of management, and then they add to it. What this does, the catchball technique, is it refines the vision so that everybody has their point of view, and also helps them contribute. It makes them involved, and so they also are attached to the vision. It's not only one person that came up with the vision, it's everybody in the organization. And so this is the process, by the way. I'm not going to go each step by step, but from establishing the vision to the annual objectives, right? So the vision to the annual objectives, it goes between every level of management so that they can plan. And then from the objectives to the annual review, like to the end, is plan, decide. I forget what it is. Is that let's see. Oh yeah, plan, do, check, and act. So plan, do, check, and act. Let me explain more in that. So they plan the objectives annually. They do it. They implement it. They always check with the measurements. How far are we? And then based on the results of their measurement, they act again. And this is cyclical until they get it right. I mean, we're talking about Japanese people, right? They're not going to stop until it's perfect. So these are two
What
great
is the time frame measured?
time frame annual. So sorry. So from annual to monthly.
To monthly they're doing.
Yes, monthly. They're planning every month. How is that plan getting us close to that annual objectives that the boss put or that we put, because with the catchball, right? So they do for the next month. Check, act. Plan, do, check, act. Plan, do, check, act. Over and over, iterative. Okay, and then at the end of the year, after 12 PDCAs, they check the review with the strategic vision. Did we make it? Yes or no? Who needs to get fired? Basically. I'm kidding. Maybe that's not the question they ask, but this is a good way to check, right? And so that's another example. Same company applying this is Netflix, and this is when they went from the so Netflix did many things, and this is a great example of you can have different strategies for different seasons in your business. At some point, how Netflix took the markets off at a surprise when they went from physical products to streaming services, and this is from how they went from DVD, so still physical products, but perfected it or refined it so well to better meet the demands of their market. And so I'm not going to go through details in that, but it's here. One piece of clarification: the X matrix is not specific to the Hoshin Kanri model, but essentially this is what the X matrix is. It looks like an X, you see here, where you start like this and then you rotate it. Here you'll have the people that you assign. You rotate it again. Here you have the people that are assigned to the annual objectives, and then you rotate it again, and it will go here to the people that are assigned to the top level priorities. And then from 4, you go to the 5, who's going to meet for that. So this is how Netflix went from DVD to, what did I say? From DVD to streaming. And then the other one was from Netflix, how they went from, they disrupted the video rental industry. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. I know we're over in time. The last thing I will say is when you're thinking of strategy, what's your favorite sport, Peter and Jitin?
I don't watching sports. I'm doing the sports. I'm going in gym, but I'm not watching.
Okay, okay. We all know. What about you, Jitin?
Yeah, I play a lot of chess.
Chess?
I'm
Yeah.
playing chess as well. Yeah.
Okay, there you go. I love chess too.
I love
Okay,
Really? Okay.
right.
If
So
you say sports, okay, chess is my favorite.
there you go. So strategies. You know about strategies. You have the Karukan, you have the French opening, all sorts of variations, right? How you
Yes.
go from how are you going to position your people, your resources to have the best what's it called, probability to win, right? Have a competitive edge. And this is why having the right strategy and the right tools and framework and way to implement it will give you a competitive edge. And with that being said, competitive edge is what's happening, or competitive advantage, same thing, same difference, is what Unit 3 is all about. And that's what we'll talk about on Saturday. Any final questions before we close? And by the way,
No.
thank you.
Is there any chance to send us that PDF?
Yeah, it's in the
You send everybody. Yeah?
Yeah, so I put it in the course forum, and then I put it here because there was a lot of strategies there, and I didn't want us to do the same ones.
Mhm.
So it's here. Um, yeah. So oh, also last thing, I know we're over time, but one thing I'll last say that maybe will get your mind thinking is under still in the list, which even if you can use ChatGPT to quickly explain things to you, there's this way of seeing your product under the jobs to be done strategy, which to me it blew my mind. I had to share. So the guy that came up with this, Christiansen something something, invites us to see. Um, let me. Yeah, I don't need to continue sharing, but he invites us to see your product or service um, differently from the customer standpoint in a way that your product are not bought, but they're hired to do a specific job. That's why it's called jobs to be done. The example he gave is, we all know McDonald's. McDonald's were doing some market research and doing focus groups. Focus groups is when they put people together and try to ask them
Yeah.
all the why questions to understand what makes the product good and how they can better it. And they couldn't figure out how to make their products better. But one thing they noticed a pattern is early in the morning, I don't remember what time, 6 a.m. or something, a lot of people were coming and buying milkshakes. And eventually they started thinking, okay, we had this focus group, we had the insights, and we developed a strategy for this, implemented it, but it didn't really change our bottom line. But there's this group that always comes in in the morning that seems to have something. So they started interviewing them, and they were like, why are you buying this?" And essentially, the type of answers they were getting is, "Well, I have a long drive in the morning to go from point A to point B to work or whatever, and I need to eat something while I'm driving. I tried donuts, I tried bagels, but donuts are just too much sugar, X and Y. If I have a bagel, I have to put the butter in it. It's just too complicated because I'm driving, is whatever.
Uh,
And if I tried a banana, but trust me, nobody wants to eat a banana for a 30-minute drive because it's quickly being digested and you're hungry again. But you guys sell milkshakes, and it's something I can sip on for about half an hour, no problem, and it still stays in my stomach for the whole afternoon. So that's where they got thinking. They're using the product to pass time and have their stomach filled, and that's why they're hiring the product. So I hope this gives you an idea of what jobs to be done means is essentially you're getting your customers are hiring your product or service to do a specific job. Not because, oh, milkshake is so sweet or is so beautiful to see, whatever. No. The If you are looking at your offerings as being hired by someone to do a job, like for example, coffee shops. Some people go to coffee shops to have coffee. Others, like me, go to study. Others hire the coffee shop to to do interviews. These are all aspects of how you can see it on a jobs to be done. And now,
mhm.
if you know how your offering is being hired, then you can have campaigns or you can position yourself ideally for the right job of your customer. That's the jobs to be done. Isn't that cool, guys?
It- that's amazing, really. The
So yeah,
first time
yeah.
I will go deeply in that one. I like
Please
it.
do. I mean, this is just one, right? But I hope this gives you a bit of curiosity to even like expand into other like Pareto analysis, OKR.
I'll go all of them. It's really a lot of, and I want to check them all. Really.
Yeah. So that's all I have for today. Again, last thing I'm gonna say is now we've opened our eyes to so many ways to formulating a long-term vision or long-term plan to getting to your strategy, to getting to your vision. your end goal. Now, what can you do to have a competitive edge? Because obviously, in the market, you're not going to be the only one. Everybody wants a piece of the pie, right? How
Yeah,
can you develop yourself to have at least your highest chances or probability to win? And that's what we call the competitive advantage. There's lots of things there, and that's what we're going to see on Saturday. I'll just open the floor for questions, clarifications, and then we can close.
I'm good.
Jitin?
No, thank you so much. First, using your 30 minutes initially for explaining, so I really appreciate it. But yeah, otherwise, thank you so much.
Awesome, guys. Well, thank you for your time. You guys make it worthwhile to learn from each other. Thank you, Peter, for sharing the David SMP model. Yeah, and Jitin, looking forward to also, collaborating with you either via text on the Discord group or on Wednesdays. And we'll see you all on Saturday. And hello to the online people that see us on YouTube. This time it's recorded. Yay. We'll catch you next time, guys. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Bye bye.
All right. Bye, everybody.